Good evening. The next group of dancers are a traditional dance group from Haines, the Gisan dancers. The group started dancing in the early 1900s and have traveled throughout Alaska, the lower 48, and Canada pretty extensively over the past 40, 50 years. The group formed around the Austin Hammond family. Today, the leader of the group is Charles Paddock. I'll have him come forward. Charles?
Good evening, everybody. Anybody out there? Well, I just wanted to say, just for myself right away, it's really, again, a happy time for me to be here. It's been 2 years since I've been here last, and every time I come here, I always look forward to seeing friends that I've seen here 2 years ago, and it's good to see all your smiling faces, and I think that what we're going to try to do here, up here this evening for you, is to really try to get into the spirit of what this is all about, which is a celebration. And so we ask you all to join us, especially when you hear what we're going to be doing tonight are what we refer to as love songs. And the love songs that we're doing here are, I would just like to share a little bit of that, of what I understand about love songs. And some of you probably already know a lot of this already. But I would just like to share, especially for those of you that don't really understand, love songs may be self-explanatory to some people, but then from a cultural perspective, there is a whole lot more significance to it, a whole lot more meaning from a Tlingit perspective that's quite different from our non-native brothers that might be here and sisters that might be here as well. When I think about our people's love songs, I think about it within a cultural context, where our people are having a potlatch. And generally when we have potlatches, it's a time filled with ceremony. And the first half of the potlatch is very solemn. We acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge all of those people that have passed on into the spirit world. And so when we spend all the first half of the potlatch doing that, then what we've done is we've shared a great deal of ourselves, a great deal of our heart and our feelings. And so our people a long time ago knew that it was important not to leave things like that. And so in the wisdom of our ancestors, then what they would do is then turn the potlatch over from the solemn occasion, from one of being a solemn occasion to one that was more of a happy occasion. And so then they would say, we're going to turn this over to the other side now. And then they would start singing songs like the ones that we're going to be singing here for you this evening. So that then there would be this balance. And so people wouldn't be walking around out of that potlatch with heavy hearts or with heavy thoughts. And they would go out then with thoughts of a love for their children. The first song that we're going to do for you this evening is one that we call Wasahapati. And it was a song that was composed by a man by the name of Alfred Andrews. And Alfred Andrews, when he was composing this song, he was thinking about very specific things in history that were taking place during his lifetime. Some of you out here may be still familiar with the when they had the earthquake, and when he was experiencing this earthquake, he was right around the Latuya Bay area, and he was remembering that there was a woman that was out on an island that was not too far off the shores within the Latuya Bay area, and that island sank while this woman was on it. Some of you might remember who she was, and I don't know what her name is, and I don't think there was anybody among us that could remember what this woman's name was. But she worked, or her husband worked as the superintendent for what was the name of that company? The New England, well, no, it wasn't New England. Well, anyway, she was, her husband was the superintendent for this fish company up there in the Yakutat area. And she was on this island when it sank. And her name was Mrs. Welch. Some of you might remember her. There was another story that's very much related, at least indirectly, to the first song we're going to be singing to you, and it was describing, and some of you might even heard the story over the radio, because it described a man who was out in his fishing boat when that earthquake took place, and what followed that earthquake was a tidal wave. And this man didn't have enough time to get out of the way of this tidal wave, so what he did is that he pointed his bow towards the oncoming wave, and somehow he was able to survive that tidal wave. And so the first song that we're going to be singing for you again is one that we have come to call Wasahakwati. And it's, although the song was a song that was composed it was being sung to the Tlu Kach Adi and the Ganach Tedi. When we learned it, we learned to sing it to the Tlu Nach Adi and the Ganach Tedi Yatki. And so if you hear your father's clan being mentioned out there, then honor your fathers and stand up and dance with us. Just right where you're at is fine. Rewind that one. We got to start a different one. Kaguantania. Panaida Segop. My uncle says he needs a break. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of what knowledge I know about this next song that we're going to do for you. It's a new one for us. And it's always, for me anyway, a real pleasure to be learning something new whenever I'm involved with the culture of our people and the history of our people. And it's one that we call Deach Gastuk. With my mouth being so dry, maybe I'm not pronouncing that very accurately. It's a song that was composed by a man by the name of Kindagain. And I really enjoy that fact because it's very few songs that I know that have been composed by one of my own grandfather's people. And so it's with a lot of pride that I share this, or that we share this song with you, and that I'm able to stand here and share with you a little bit of some background information about it. Kindagain, although some of the history I'll share with you doesn't really relate to the song. I just wanted to say that the man that composed this song was one of those people that did make those some of the last journeys up into the interior, when our people in the Scoot area and the Chilkat area would go up in that among these people to trade. And so he was one of these people that did that and made those kind of journeys. And so I wanted to share that with you, although, you know, it may not say anything about the song. Particularly, it gives you some idea of just the history behind the song. Again, it's a song that we call Deach Tuch.
Hatsucht as you go gonna cheese kayakana. Sak go gonna cheese GDT. Ach, has waited Kenny. Amy, especially you. Cheese kayak si kanwas such an anachadishuk. Gonna cheese your hands yaki how it yaki some dancers. To das it Katie out to see each other. I go Connie. You got Connie. Well, good. Puchania is the next song. I guess this kind of concludes our program. But before we end, we've got one more song. Thank you. And we are going to go out with Jade and Atira. All right.